Call of Cthulhu: Destiny's End was one of two planned follow-ups to the 2005 survival horror video game Call of Cthulhu: Dark Corners of the Earth. The other being Call of Cthulhu: Beyond the Mountains of Madness, and the game was supposed to be released for the PlayStation 2 and Xbox. The game was first announced in November of 2002, and was being developed by Headfirst while they were developing Dark Corners of the Earth. And eventually the game would ultimately end up being cancelled 4 years later in 2006, after Headfirst were unsuccessful in securing a publisher, resulting in a cancellation that was a major contributing factor in the bankruptcy of the company. It is known that the game was designed to be played as a two-person cooperative game, which is somewhat unusual for the survival horror genre it was in. However, the game could still be played by a single player. The game's story focused on two characters, Emily and Jacob, searching for clues to their past in the degenerate town of Innsmouth, solving problems and fighting Mythos monsters along the way. Recently, on June 2nd, 2024, a prototype of Destiny's End was uploaded to the Internet Archive by Codebound. And according to Codebound, the prototype was dated May 15th, 2005, and it seems to have been made for E3 2005, which is where gameplay for Destiny's End was shown off before. Codebound also mentioned that the prototype only contains a small slice of gameplay, and that it has issues in PCS X2 and crashes shortly after loading into the first level. The Banana Splits Adventure Hour is a live-action animated hybrid series created by Hanna-Barbera that originally aired on NBC from September 7, 1968 to November 29, 1969. The series was centered around an animal band consisting of Fleagle the dog, Bingo the gorilla, Drooper the lion, and Snorky the elephant. And the Banana Splits appeared in no segments of their own, instead appearing in song and comedy sketches in between the show's segments. Although the series aired for 2 seasons, the Banana Splits themselves would appear in new material for the show's second season, since the segments they bordered were repeats. After the series ended, the first season episodes were edited for syndication, and while the syndicated episodes can be found easily, the same cannot be said for the original unedited episodes. After reruns of the original series were taken off NBC in 1970, the show's 18 episodes in its first season were divided into 36 half-hour installments, and put into a syndication package composing of it and several other 1960s Hanna-Barbera series. And the package was originally broadcasted from 1971 to 1982 on Cartoon Network and Boomerang, making the original unedited episodes not being seen since they last aired in 1970. Although the original episodes are extremely rare, they are believed to be held in the Warner Bros. Archives. In 2007, someone named Earl Kress reported that development for a DVD set of the original Adventure Hour episodes was cancelled due to the materials being too expensive to restore at that time. Before 2021, only the first episode was available to watch in its original form, and it was included in the Saturday Morning Cartoons 1970s Volume 2 DVD. I should probably mention that the show's second season Banana Split segments are considered lost outright, since the syndication package only contains the first season's Banana Split segments. On February 18, 2021, the first 2 Adventure Hour episodes were uploaded to the Internet Archive by Sir Plays. However, the episodes were in low quality due to them being taken from studio tapes. And I should probably mention that Sir Play's upload of the second episode is no longer available, although the first episode can still be viewed. Recently, on June 4th, 2024, Lost Media Wiki Forums user Somebody32 would upload episodes 3 to 14 on the file hosting site Mega, giving us 12 more original Banana Splits episodes to watch online. Titch is a British stop-motion animated series that is based on the books of the same name, that were written and illustrated by Pat Hutchins. The series would air 39 episodes that were produced by the Hutchins Film Company between 1997 and 2001, and was aired on different children's channels in the United Kingdom, with it first being broadcasted on CITV from 1997 to 2001, before being broadcasted on Tiny Living from 2001 to January 1st, 2006, before it was first broadcasted on Milkshake in September of 2004 as Tiny Living went off air. The overall premise of Titch involved a too young, too little title character named Titch, who enthusiastically tries to help out or accompany his older siblings and parents, and generally failing at doing it before comedic chaos follows. Unlike many programs at the time, Titch had a fairly minimalist style, using simple set designs, a small cast of puppets, and a lack of voice acting. The show was narrated by the late Peter Jones, who would pass away soon before the show's production was completed, leaving Paul Vaughn to take over his role for the remaining episodes. And the majority of the show's episodes can be found on various sources, such as on Pat Hutchins' Vimeo page, YouTube videos, and on VHS and DVD releases of the show. However, not all episodes of Titch can be viewed, since some of them have yet to be found and archived, which are all the episodes from the show's third series. For quite some time, the majority of Series 2 of Titch was also missing alongside the entire third series. However, on June 9th, 2024, LMW user Kofi would upload the entire second series of Titch to the Internet Archive, leaving only Series 3 to be found as of now. First Time Vape Shop Visit Twitter Cut is a shorter and more condensed version of the YouTube video First Time Vape Shop Visit Vlog, that was shortened to fit Twitter's video length limit, or should I say X if I want to keep up with its current name. And the video was uploaded to YouTube by Scott Wozniak, better known as Scott the Woz. The original video was a skit created by Scott the Woz starring himself and his friends, and it followed a story about him and his cloud cousins going to a vape shop. And on October 12, 2016, Scott would upload the Twitter cut of the video on his second YouTube channel, Scott's Stash, which is a channel dedicated to showing behind-the-scenes footage of Scott the Woz episodes and other projects created by Scott Wozniak. Oh, and I should also mention that the video was presumably posted to Twitter as well. Ian Tebb, admin of the Scott the Woz wiki, recalls seeing the video's Twitter cut, and when asked by an anonymous user on said wiki about what happened in it, he mentioned that it wasn't very different from the original video. Wow, what a shocker, am I right? The original upload of the Twitter cut has since been privated and has not received an official re-upload. And as of making this video, the reasoning for its privatization is currently unknown. On May 24th, 2023, an Internet Archive user named EonCats uploaded an archive of a very large variety of Scott the Woz related media, including the associated metadata for the Twitter cut of the First Time Vape Shop Visit video. Almost a year later, on May 23rd, 2024, LMW user Buddy Epster contacted the Tech Robo through Gmail, who is the owner of the site YouTube Video Finder. And Buddy Epster would ask him to share a backup of the Twitter cut, which he would receive 18 days later on June 10th before posting it to the Internet Archive the next day. Cherie, CoCo is an anime series based on the 1971 manga of the same name created by Waki Yamato, and was produced by Nippon TV Video in 1972. The series was aired every Sunday from 7:30 p.m. to 8 p.m. from August 27, 1972 to November 26th of that same year. Yeah, the show did not last too long. And the reason for it not lasting a long time was mostly due to financial problems, resulting in the series' early cancellation, as well as the resignation of Kiyoshi Watanabe, who was the producer of the show. Absolutely no episodes from the show have been made publicly available, not even uploaded to the internet despite the show's retransmissions up until the year 1990. And for many years, the only still accessible material from the series was its opening intro and articles about the series in newspapers around the time it was airing. In 2022, the ending theme for the show would be found, and recently on June 12, 2024, VHS clips of what is presumed to be from episodes 3 and 5 were uploaded to Twitter by a user named VideoVHS, thus making this the first time footage beyond the show's intro has been seen in over more than 30 years, and eventually the same clips would later be uploaded to YouTube. 8 days later on June 20th, another discovery surrounding Cherie CoCo would be made, when a VHS clip of what is presumed to be from episode 13 was uploaded to Twitter by VideoVHS, the same person who uploaded the VHS clips from episodes 3 and 5. Man, shout out to VideoVHS on Twitter. However, VideoVHS's original tweet would eventually be deleted, although you can still watch the episode 13 clip online. Hopefully in the future, VideoVHS will find and upload more clips from Cherie CoCo. But for now, the majority of the series is considered lost media. The Reading Club was a public TV show that was made by Howard University Television, in cooperation with Dunbar Productions and WHUT, a local Washington, D.C. channel, and the talk show was hosted by former WCBS New York anchor Carol Martin, with Renee Poussaint taking over as host for the show's second season, after quote-unquote working on a documentary about a meeting between historian John Hope Franklin and Archbishop Desmond Tutu of South Africa. Allison J. Davis, one of the many executive producers of the Reading Club, was inspired by her friends to create and air a talk show on books, which would end up being the Reading Club, a series focused on serving the African American community by educating, informing, and inspiring individuals to broaden their horizons through more reading. Each episode had different club members, which were various African American women selected from book clubs across the US. And usually they would discuss various topics in several books like self-discovery and love. The Reading Club would only air episodes for a short period of time, which is why we have a lack of video footage from the show, and only 26 half-hour episodes were produced. However, it is speculated that the series aired reruns until September 30th, 2002, when the PBS Kids Bookworm Bunch block was airing, thus bringing the show to obscurity. While the Walter J. Brown Media Archives and Peabody Awards collection are known to own every episode of the show, they are currently unavailable to the public, except for the first 3 episodes. And one of those 3 episodes, which was the show's very first episode, was recently found on June 16th, 2024, which was the episode titled Our Kind of People, giving us another episode from the Reading Club to watch. El Chapulin Colorado is a Mexican sitcom starring Mexican comedian Roberto Gomez Bolaños, who is best known by his stage name Chespirito, and the show focuses on the adventures of the titular character Chapulin Colorado, and the show's title translates to the red grasshopper or the cherry cricket in English. The show embodies many aspects of Latin and Mexican culture, while making a critique on the unrealistic image that superheroes are portrayed as. And in each episode, people recognized Chapulin Colorado whenever he appeared, believing him to be a great superhero. Upon being recognized, Chapulin Colorado would boast, only to stumble and fall right away, proving himself to be puny and timid, and disappointing to his fans. However, Chapulin Colorado would still try his best to help, making all of his adventures end well. Also, fun fact about the show, The Simpsons creator Matt Groening has said that he created the Bumblebee Man character after watching El Chapulin Colorado in a motel on the US-Mexico border. So there's something interesting about the show for you guys. El Chapulin Colorado was originally conceived as part of an earlier TV effort by Chespirito, which was a show called Los Supergenios de la Mesa Cuadrada. And Los Supergenios de la Mesa Cuadrada would prove popular enough to earn its own full-fledged series. Following the merge of Televisión Independiente de Mexico, the show's broadcaster, and Telesistema Mexicano in 1973. As an independent series, over more than 200 episodes of El Chapulin Colorado were broadcasted from 1973 to 1979. And a good number of episodes from the show have ended up becoming lost. However, recently on June 17, 2024, 18 minutes of the show's 1976 episode, Al Robot se le infectaron los transistores surfaced on YouTube. And the episode was recorded from Canal Cinco de Rosario around the year 1983, and was also provided to Chespirito fan Shambler Casper by Argentinian collector Claudio Matuk, who is best known by his online alias Retromagia Rosario, making the episode partially found, but not found in its entirety. Although, there's still a chance in the future that the episode will be entirely found. AU is a shoot-'em-up game that Tekken, later known as Tecmo and currently known as Koei Tecmo Games, planned to release in 1983. And the game's title, AU, comes from the elemental symbol for gold. The gameplay for AU is on a fixed screen where you shoot flying enemies to capture them, and then shoot more of them to destroy enemy bases on the ground with them. The game is cleared when only one enemy base remains, which is carried over to the next stage. The game was first shown to the public at the 21st Amusement Machine Show on September 28, 1983, where it would get positive reception. However, despite its positive reception, it was never officially released. And the reason for the game not being released was due to only a few customers playing the game during a location test for it, which would result in the game not seeing an increase in sales. In 2011, a ROM board with the game was found in the warehouse of Koei Tecmo Games. However, it was in an unbootable condition, and a repair company was hired to restore it, which it eventually did. On June 7, 2014, the Tecmo arcade game Chronicle, which is a collection of arcade game soundtracks and archival footage released in the 1980s and 90s, was released, which included a video of AU gameplay footage. And also on June 7, 2014, AU was also available for the public to try out at the Takadanobaba Mikado Game Center, an amusement arcade in Takadanobaba, Tokyo, as an event to celebrate its release. On June 20th, 2024, the game was finally available in a homebrew MAME update, making the game available to play. Conquest is a 1998 film directed by Piers Haggart starring Lothar Bluto and Tara Fitzgerald. And the film follows an idealistic banker in the remote and desolate village of Conquest, Saskatchewan, who hopes to revitalize the fading community, when a woman arrives in town stranded with a broken car, which causes him to attempt to convince her to stay and run the local hardware store, leading the two to eventually fall in love. The film was inspired by writer Rob Forsyth's visit to the real village of Conquest, where he met a Vietnamese owner of a local cafe there, which he described as the unhappiest woman I have ever seen in my life. And when the film was finished, the Vietnamese cafe owner remained in the film. However, the CBC was uninterested in producing a film entirely centering on her. So Forsyth would write the film focusing primarily on the romance between the characters played by Bluto and Fitzgerald. The film was released theatrically in Canada, later airing on CBC, and it was additionally shown on the Showtime channel in the United States. And yet, despite the film being shown on television, it would end up becoming lost. An old Amazon listing seems to prove the existence of a VHS release for Conquest. However, any copies of the VHS have yet to be found as of now, and any product reviews for the film are for another film entirely. And also, on the catalog site WorldCat, 72 libraries offer access to the film, 70 in North America and 2 in Australia to be exact. An interesting fact about Conquest is that it was the last film directed by Piers Haggard, and was Rob Forsyth's last project released before his passing in September of 1999, just over a year after the release of Conquest, making it his second and final theatrical feature film after 1991's Clear Cut. Now, for anyone who wants to watch the full film today, you are in luck, because recently on June 21st, 2024, the full film was uploaded to MySpleen by user Atumetu. So now you guys can watch Conquest. The Big Boss Part 2 was a sequel to the 1971 Bruce Lee film The Big Boss that was released on April 2nd, 1976. And the film also starred martial arts stars Lo Lia and Michael Waymon Chan, as well as it often being confused with another film known as Big Boss 2 that was released in 1981. At least one print of the film dubbed in English is known to exist and is owned by a Zambian cinema. However, there was a previous owner of the print, which was someone from South Africa, who would upload a 10-minute segment of the film on YouTube, refusing to release the entire film to the public. A truncated VHS copy of the film was uploaded to YouTube on August 2nd, 2021. However, the VHS copy was only 47 minutes long, which is much shorter than the movie's 1 hour and 40-minute runtime. In 2010, members of the Kung Fu Cinema Forum attempted to get the South African owner's print. However, the master reel was sold to the Zambian cinema I mentioned earlier, leaving only an English dubbed trailer for the film, as well as multiple posters and magazine article scans about it. In March of 2024, it was announced that Severin Films would be including a scan of a Mandarin language print, as a part of the web-exclusive edition of their upcoming quote-unquote Bruceploitation box set, The Game of Clones. And recently on June 25th, 2024, the box set was released to the public, making the Mandarin version of The Big Boss Part 2 found.